Let me tell you about a man named Walter. At 92, he still drives himself to the grocery store every week, and he hasn't been sick in over 3 decades. No pills, no secrets, just 5 daily habits anyone can try. Some of them take less than 2 minutes, yet they've completely transformed his life. In this video, you'll discover exactly what he does and why small choices each morning could change everything for you too. Let's begin. Habit 1. Morning movement ritual. Walter has a habit that surprises most people. Before he even gets out of bed, before his feet touch the floor, he moves. Not a workout, not a stretch routine, just a quiet, simple signal he sends to his body every single morning. A message that says, "Wake up gently. We're still alive. Let's begin." He started this ritual when he was 62, after a physician friend told him something that stuck. The body ages fastest in the first 30 minutes after waking. In that short window, blood tends to be thicker, joints more stiff, and the nervous system still sluggish like a car engine in cold weather. Most people ignore this. They jolt out of bed, grab their phone, and rush into the noise of the day. Walter does the opposite. He lies still for a moment, takes 3 deep breaths, and begins. He slowly moves his fingers, then his toes. He rotates his ankles and wrists. Sometimes, he even rolls his head gently side to side. It takes less than 2 minutes, but what it does is powerful. It brings blood to the limbs, oxygen to the brain, and awareness back into the body. It's his way of telling every part of himself, "You're needed today." This small act, according to research from the National Institute on Aging, can improve balance, boost energy, and enhance mental clarity in older adults. Gentle movement, first thing in the morning, stimulates circulation, reduces stiffness, and lowers the risk of falls, especially in seniors who live alone. Walter didn't learn this from a textbook. He felt the difference himself. In his early 60s, he used to wake up groggy and stiff. One morning, half asleep, he tripped over a pair of slippers and nearly hit the bathroom floor. That was his wake-up call. Since then, he's never skipped his morning movement ritual. Not before coffee, not even when traveling. It's now as natural to him as brushing his teeth. What matters most? Walter says, isn't the movement itself, it's the consistency. The brain and body adapt to what we do every day. The Mayo Clinic has shown that steady, low-intensity mobility practices can reduce inflammation and support heart health in older adults. And Walter proves it. At 92, he still moves like a man decades younger. He doesn't use yoga mats, gadgets, or timers. He just uses presence and a little patience. 90 seconds each morning, dedicated to checking in with his body instead of checking his phone. So ask yourself, when was the last time you said good morning to your body? Not with caffeine or news, but with kindness and care. Aging doesn't happen in big crashes. It shows up quietly, in the stiffness we ignore and the signals we miss. But so does healing, and it begins right where Walter begins, before your feet even hit the floor. Habit 2, the golden glass. After his morning ritual of gentle movement, Walter does something so simple, it's almost unbelievable. Yet he swears it's one of the reasons he hasn't been sick in over 30 years. It's not a supplement, it's not a pill, and it's certainly not some pricey health powder from a celebrity ad. It's just a warm glass of water with fresh lemon juice, a bit of turmeric, and a pinch of black pepper. That's it. He calls it his golden glass, and it's the first thing that enters his body every single day. While most people rush to coffee or toast, Walter starts with something that calms inflammation, activates digestion, and supports his immune system before breakfast even begins. Let's look at why this simple habit makes such a powerful difference. First, lemon. Fresh lemon juice is packed with vitamin C, a natural antioxidant that boosts white blood cell production, the frontline soldiers of your immune defense. The Linus Pauling Institute at Oregon State University has shown that vitamin C not only reduces the risk of illness, but also shortens recovery time, especially in older adults. Lemon also helps your liver produce bile, which is essential for digestion and detoxification. As we age, stomach acid often decreases, slowing digestion. Lemon helps restore that balance naturally. Next is turmeric, one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory roots. Its active compound, curcumin, has been studied in hundreds of clinical trials. It's been shown to lower inflammation markers, ease joint pain, and support brain function. A study in Frontiers in Pharmacology reported that curcumin supplementation enhanced immune responses and reduced oxidative stress in older adults. But there's a catch. Curcumin doesn't absorb well on its own. That's where the black pepper comes in. It contains a compound called piperine, which boosts the absorption of curcumin by up to 2,000%. Without it, the turmeric would barely make it into the bloodstream. Together, these three ingredients create more than just a drink. They form a daily signal to the body. We're taking care of you. Walter's recipe is simple. Warm, not boiling water, the juice of half a lemon, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, and a pinch of black pepper. Stir and sip slowly. It takes less than 5 minutes to prepare, but it's become a non-negotiable part of his morning for over 3 decades. He didn't start this habit because he read about it online. He started it because his body was asking for help. In his 60s, Walter used to suffer from seasonal sinus infections, stiff joints in the winter, and post-breakfast fatigue. Within 2 weeks of starting his golden glass, he noticed less bloating and more energy. A few months later, he realized something strange. He hadn't been sick in nearly a year. Since then, he's never looked back. Now, even when he's exposed to viruses, his body responds differently. It doesn't roll out the red carpet anymore. He once said with a smile, "It stands guard." To Walter, this drink is not just a habit. It's a declaration, a gentle but powerful way of saying, "I choose to take care of myself today." And that's the heart of this practice. You don't need exotic herbs or expensive routines. You need simple, consistent choices that send your body the message. You matter. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for the coffee pot or check your phone, consider what Walter would do. Pour something golden. Breathe. Sip slowly. And let your body know it's not running on chance. It's running on care. Habit 3. The anti-inflammatory walk. Walter never saw walking as a workout. To him, it was something far more important. "I don't walk for exercise," he once said. "I walk to stay whole every day, rain or shine." Walter laces up his shoes and heads outside for 15 quiet minutes. No headphones, no step counter, just his breath and his body moving through the morning. While others may see walking as a backup plan for those who can't run, Walter believes it's the foundation, especially after the age of 60. In his early 60s, Walter used to jog. He thought sweat equaled youth, that the more you pushed your body, the longer you'd stay strong. But one day, he came across a study that shifted everything. It said that gentle daily walking could reduce systemic inflammation, balance blood sugar, improve memory, and even lower mortality risk by nearly 40%. That was the moment he stopped chasing effort and started embracing rhythm. Walter began to understand something powerful. Walking isn't just about going somewhere, it's about resetting everything. It realigns joints, stimulates the lymphatic system, settles the nervous system, and clears the mind. It puts things back where they belong. He says, but here's the key, he never skips it. Even if it's cold, even if it's just around the block, not because he's disciplined, but because he knows what happens when he doesn't. On days without a walk, he feels slower, foggy, stiffer. But when he walks, his shoulders open, his thoughts sharpen, his joints loosen, and his energy lifts. Science backs him up. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that 20 minutes of walking can lower levels of C-reactive protein, a key marker of inflammation. Research from Stanford also shows that walking improves creativity and mental clarity better than sitting still. The most memorable moment came 25 years ago. When Walter skipped his walk, just one morning, he told himself he'd do it later. But the day got busy, and by evening, something felt off. Not pain or fatigue, but a strange heaviness. I felt old, he recalled. Not tired, not sore, just old, like my lungs had forgotten how to stretch. From that day forward, he never skipped again. For Walter, walking became his daily medicine. He treats it like a prescription: sturdy shoes, a gentle pace, and conscious breathing 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. He moves his arms freely to keep his posture open. And there's one thing he always adds: a smile. Not because he's always cheerful, but because smiling makes him feel better. That smile, it turns out, isn't just emotional, it's biological. Studies in psychosomatic medicine reveal that smiling activates the vagus nerve, a key player in regulating inflammation, heart rate, digestion, and even stress response. When paired with movement, it magnifies the benefits. So Walter walks, he smiles, he breathes 15 minutes a day, and it's given him decades of clarity and vitality. You don't need perfect weather. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't even need motivation. Walking gives it to you. Walter's body, at 92, still carries strength not because of luck, but because of motion. Every step tells my body, you're still capable, he says. So if you've been feeling stuck, stiff, or slow, don't wait for the perfect time. Just put on your shoes, open the door, and remind your body that healing doesn't start in the gym. It starts with a single step. Because in Walter's world, motion is life. Habit 4. The brain and body breakfast. Walter never begins his day without one essential building block: protein. Not a pill, not a powder, and certainly not a trendy superfood, just real, high-quality protein, and he's done it faithfully every morning for over 30 years. Back when he turned 60, Walter believed he was eating well. His plate was colorful fruits, vegetables, whole grains. Occasionally, he added a multivitamin, but something felt off. He was losing strength. His energy dipped before noon. He found himself forgetting names, misplacing keys, even wondering if he'd already eaten breakfast. At first, he blamed aging. Then his doctor offered a different explanation. You're not getting enough protein. As we get older, the body becomes less efficient at absorbing and using protein. That means we actually need more, not less, to preserve muscle, memory, immunity, and healing. So Walter made one significant change. He reinvented his breakfast. Gone were the toast and sugary cereals. Instead, he created what he now calls the brain and body breakfast. It's simple, satisfying, and science-backed. One boiled egg, a cup of Greek yogurt, a handful of walnuts, a few blueberries. Together, this small meal delivers more than 25 grams of complete protein, anti-inflammatory fats, and antioxidants that protect the brain. But to Walter, it does more than nourish, it anchors his day. Here's why this habit matters. Protein isn't just for athletes, it's for immune cells, which are made of amino acids. It's for enzymes that heal tissue. It's for neurotransmitters that help the brain stay sharp. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal had better muscle mass, fewer hospital visits, and even increased longevity. Another study from Tufts University found that higher protein intake in seniors significantly improved immune responses, especially to illness and vaccines. The benefits go far beyond strength. It's about resilience. But Walter also learned something important. Not all proteins are created equal. So, he chose complete proteins, the ones containing all 9 essential amino acids. Eggs score perfectly. Greek yogurt offers protein, calcium, and gut-friendly probiotics. Walnuts aren't complete proteins, but they deliver omega-3s in powerful inflammation-fighting compounds. Blueberries, they're the antioxidant glue that ties everything together. What surprised Walter the most wasn't just how strong he felt, it was how stable he became. He used to feel shaky or foggy around 11 a.m., but now he moves through his mornings with steady clarity. Whether it's a long drive, a doctor's appointment, or helping his neighbor fix a leaky faucet, he stays sharp and even-tempered. He occasionally mixes things up: cottage cheese with flax seeds, grilled chicken on sprouted grain toast, or even a lentil scramble if he's feeling creative. But one rule never changes: never skip protein at breakfast. Walter believes that breakfast is more than just a meal. It's the signal that tells your body how to perform for the rest of the day. And as he puts it, you wouldn't pour fumes into a car's gas tank and expect it to run well. Why do that to yourself? Protein in the morning isn't an indulgence. It's a lifeline. And no matter your age or what yesterday looked like, this is a habit anyone can start right now. Your body doesn't care how old you are. It cares what you give it today. Habit 5. Mental tuning. There's something Walter has done every morning for the last 30 years, and no doctor ever prescribed it. It's not a supplement, or a stretch, or a breathing routine. It's what he calls mental tuning, and according to him, it's just as important as food, movement, or sleep. Before he speaks a single word to anyone, before he checks the news or even looks out the window, Walter sits still. Just 3 minutes. That's all. He closes his eyes and gently asks himself one question: how do I want to feel today? Not what he wants to do, or fix, or accomplish, but how he wants to be. He chooses his internal state first: calm, clear, capable, grateful. And then he imagines himself moving through the day with those qualities: speaking kindly, driving confidently, handling surprises with ease. It might sound like nothing, but Walter swears this tiny habit has changed everything. And science agrees. A team at Harvard and Dr. Joe Dispenza's research have shown that when people vividly visualize an activity, the same brain regions light up on scans as if they were actually doing it. That means your brain can practice being calm or focused the same way a musician practices scales. And for seniors, that's powerful, because aging doesn't just stiffen joints, it also stirs up stress. And stress is no small thing. It floods the body with cortisol, which weakens immunity, shrinks memory centers, and triggers fatigue. Walter says it shows up differently in older adults. Not just anxiety, but confusion. Not just worry, but inflammation. You can't see it right away, he says, but you feel it in your bones. That's why he protects those first few minutes each morning like medicine. He calls it setting the tone, and once it's set, everything else aligns. His blood pressure drops, his mind clears, his energy smooths out. He calls it driving from the inside out. He recalls a friend from years ago, same age, same background, but constantly overwhelmed by the news, money, and politics. One day, that friend collapsed at home, a heart event, no warning. Though he survived, Walter says he was never quite the same. He was always on edge. His body just couldn't keep up with the panic anymore. So Walter made a vow: worry would not get the first word. Every morning, he would start from peace. He would choose how to enter the day, not wait for life to decide for him. And you don't need anything fancy to do this. No apps, no music, no training. Just sit, breathe, and imagine the best version of you handling the day ahead. Studies from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2016 found that just 5 minutes of daily mental rehearsal significantly reduced anxiety, improved immune response, and sharpened focus in older adults, and the benefits lasted for weeks. Walter says this: we think health comes from the outside: pills, food, exercise, but it starts here, he says, tapping his temple. Your thoughts shape your hormones, and your hormones shape your health. So yes, he walks, eats protein, drinks his golden tonic, but he believes none of that would stick without this quiet ritual, because consistency lives in clarity, and clarity starts with the mind. So tomorrow morning, Before the world gets loud, give yourself a few quiet minutes. Sit still. Picture strength. Picture grace. Picture yourself at 92, waving to the neighbor, strong behind the wheel, not because of luck, but because of choice. Small, daily, deliberate choice. Walter's story isn't about luck, or perfect hints, or some hidden secret. It's about 5 small choices done every morning that rewired his body and maybe even extended his life. His morning movement, his golden drink, his healing walk, a protein-powered breakfast, and a quiet moment to tune the mind. They aren't complicated, but they work. You don't have to wait until you're 92 to feel better. You can begin today, because health doesn't disappear all at once. It fades in skip choices. And it comes back just as quietly, habit by habit. So if you're watching this, let it be your sign. You're still here. You still can. And your next step is simple. Like this video if it inspired you. Leave a comment. What habit will you start tomorrow? Share this with someone you care about. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more wisdom that helps you live stronger, longer. Oh, and there's one more thing Walter does each night. A tiny bedtime ritual science says might help reverse aging. We'll reveal it in the next video. Stay well, stay curious, and remember, it's never too late to begin again.